There we go. All right, we've got the video up. So, all right, I'm a few minutes early here. Yes, restore the Snyderverse. Pedro's here. James from Watts is here. Yeah, I sure hope that's true. Pedro says, finally we're getting Zack and Deborah Snyder back. That's what we're going to talk about today. Preach 85 is here. It's nice to see people I recognize from some of the comments. This ought to be fun here today. All right, I'm not going to have anything really show you guys. We're just going to have a discussion here, but I'm going to get into the meat of it here in about 10 minutes. I want to see who's going to show up. But in the meantime, I want to find out if you guys have any questions. What do you guys think about all this crazy news that has been popping up over the last couple of weeks in regards to Warner Brothers Discovery? It has been hot and it has been heavy. Oh, let's see. This is interesting. I have not done a live stream in a while. Hello. We got Tony Movie. We got fan dubbing. Everybody's showing up. I'm ready for the movies. I'm done with scoops. Yeah. I think we're all ready for the movies. I was actually looking at the slate of stuff coming up. Next year should be fun. If we do get, the 3 movies that are planned, Aquaman 2 is going to be the last one next year, but we've got Shazam 2 in March. In July, we've got The Flash, and then I'll get to if this is true here or not in a minute. And we do have the Aquaman movie 2 in December. Now, we do have, what do you call it? Why am I blanking on this? Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle is also going to be in theaters next year, too. And apparently, there was a thing today talking about how it's going to have big implications, that movie is going to tie directly into a lot of the stuff they're going to do in the future. Well, okay, so Robert Mason says, I'm honestly sick of hearing scoops. I want actual confirmed information. Okay, so let's talk about, I don't want to get into it yet. I want to give a few minutes here till everybody gets here, but my header, my picture for today's stream is true. Yes, Zack Snyder did sit down with Warner Brothers Discovery, and we're going to talk about the implications of this and what this means. No, my audio is not muted. Everybody says that. No, my audio is exactly where it is when I record my videos. I don't know if I can make it really any higher. I can always bring the microphone closer. When I do my voiceovers, the microphone is right next to me. Yeah, I was going to say, some people say the audio is good for them. Hello. Okay. We'll just leave it where it is for now. I just don't like the way the lighting shades the side of my face. Yes, I do believe Henry Cavill is going to the MCU. That does not mean he is done playing Superman. And I am really irritated with the amount of stuff we see all over the internet where people are saying, he's done with DC, he's done. He's still playing The Witcher. Does that prevent him from playing a character in the MCU? No. He is Superman. Does that prevent him from playing a character in the MCU? No, it doesn't. If you can look at, I'll use Michael Keaton as an example. He was back for several different projects with Warner Brothers, but he is also, I forget the name of the character over there on Spider-Man. I forget the character's name. He was the I don't remember what his name was. Audio is green. Yeah, I was going to say my audio should be where it's supposed to be. Yeah, I'm a big Neil Blomkamp fan as well. Yeah, Vulture. Yep, that's who it was. He could play characters. You could play characters in several different universes. I deal with contracts all the time in my business. And as long as he does not have a no-compete clause, meaning he can't work for another studio, he's going to be just fine. He's allowed to do that. And I can tell you right now, with him doing stuff on Netflix, him doing stuff with DC, possibly with MGM in the future, I don't see any studio hammering him down for anything. And he's got the star power now to demand more than he ever has in the past. Yeah, Henry Cavill is definitely staying in the DCEU. And let's talk about that real quick. While I'm waiting to really talk about the big story here, let's talk about what is actually happening. Now, it has been confirmed by several different sources that Wonder Woman is going to have a big action scene, a pretty, probably an integral, from what I've heard, an integral scene in Shazam 2. We definitely have Ben Affleck coming back for Aquaman 2. He is coming back doing reshoots for The Flash. So he is back as well. So the only person that has not been completely confirmed yet is Henry Cavill. But I'm going to tell you right now, Warner Brothers Discovery has a 10-year plan. And I've been following this stuff long before this merger took place. And I have been following David Zaslav and his comments and what he expected to do when he took over. And I'm going to tell you right now, for people who don't know, Zaslav is first of all, he could not understand how these characters were underutilized, especially Superman. He has comments where he was irritated with how they kind of put Superman in the corner and how you take the number one superhero character in the entire world and you shove him into a corner. It has been over 9 years, and we do not have a Man of Steel sequel. How does a studio allow that to happen? And so I could tell you, with their 10-year plan, he is going to focus heavily on the Trinity. And this is why I think we're going to see these characters popping up in some of these other superhero films. They're going to have a presence. Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are going to be the anchors of the DCU going forward, and they are supposedly going to be locking these people up for the next 10 years. And we're going to talk about The Flash and what that means. So let's see here. I want to see some of the comments. I think is staying with the DCEU. Do you think that Snyder will direct or even produce Man of Steel 2 or Superman movie with Cavill? I'm hoping he does. I'm hoping in the future that they can get Snyder back to do Man of Steel 2. But here's how I feel about Zack Snyder and moving forward with a Man of Steel. I don't think Zack Snyder has to do a Man of Steel 2 or 3. Now, I love the music in those films. I love the emotion that they brought. Man of Steel, the more I watch it, the more I love it. Like, it is a phenomenal film. But do I think Zack Snyder needs to come back to do another Superman film? I don't think he needs to. I would like to see him come back, but I would rather him focus on more of what we're going to discuss today. I'm still amazed the amount of people who still firmly believe Affleck wants to quit playing Batman despite coming back 3 times now. Yeah, let's talk about that too. So this comment comes from Spooky Stone. He says, I'm still amazed at the amount of people who still firmly believe Affleck wants to quit playing Batman despite coming back 3 times. You're absolutely right. Now, I talked about this, and I can't tell you how many times I got just blasted in these boards all over social media. You have to pay attention to what actors say. And if you go back and watch that whole interview with Ben Affleck on Jimmy Kimmel, he never once ever once said he was done playing Batman. He said he was done with the Batman, that he couldn't crack it. It was time to let somebody else take over. And the truth is the studio pushed him away from the project and wanted to completely do something different. And I'm okay with having them, the Batman universe being separate with Pattinson. I think you guys have seen my feelings on that movie. It is a very flawed movie. I do enjoy it, but in future sequels, they're going to have some growth with that character. I can't see that character, standing still. Like, there has to be some growth, otherwise it's not going to work. Guys, any information that you've been getting that has been negative regarding Cavill, Affleck, Zack Snyder was stated by the old regime to try and divide. Well, of course, they're trying to divide the fan base. I mean, this is why this Variety article came out and said that Warner Brothers regrets ever releasing Justice League last week. I did a video on that. Yeah, they definitely do regret doing it because it showed how inept the studio was, and they wish they would have never done it. And it didn't divide the fans. It divided the fans from the studio, but it didn't divide the fans from fans, I will tell you that. Yes, Cavill is back. Charles Austin says Cavill is back. Batfleck is back. All we're waiting on confirmation-wise is Ray Fisher. Yeah, and Ray Fisher could be a while, simply because they got to get the other things in line first. Maybe a different director for Man of Steel. Yeah, I'd be okay with a different director for Man of Steel too if needed. Affleck does love playing Batman. Charles Austin says, no soft reboot, guys. No, Zaslav does not want that. World's Finest can surface as well. Yes, I'm hoping that with everything that's happening that we will eventually get a Batman-Superman movie where they team up, World's Finest, and possibly even a Trinity movie. I think it would be awesome to see all those three characters go on some kind of an adventure together that they need. Now, I did not like this. Z Smooth says Suicide Squad and Peacemaker were both fantastic. What are they doing with them? Okay. I did not care for the second Suicide Squad movie. I actually enjoyed the first one, which a lot of people didn't like more, personally. I am waiting to see Ayer's cut, but I did not like the second movie at all. I thought the humor was juvenile, and, I really like Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, and was hoping that we'd get something awesome. Now, Peacemaker I really liked on TV. It was much better to me than Suicide Squad was. If Cavill goes to the Alex 1976 says, if Cavill goes to the MCU, I'm changing everyone and reboot the whole thing. I'm Zaslav again. This is Superman we're talking about here, the biggest superhero ever. Well, Cavill can go to the MCU, but I've already addressed that. He can still play Superman without a problem. Personally didn't like Peacemaker, but that's just me. I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was amazing, but I did enjoy it. They need just one DC universe going forward. I think they could deal with the multiverse if they do it right, but they never established Earth 1 to begin with, and that's part of the problem. The Suicide Squad is one of my least favorite films. Bird of Prey is my least favorite movie that DC has done, and I would put Suicide Squad pretty close to that right after it. All right, let's see here. Yeah, hit pieces, pretty sad how they're pushing those petty hit pieces. They are. And we're going to see a lot more of that. Yeah, Justice League. Don't even get me started on the theatrical version of Justice League. Trying to watch it now is it's painful. Yeah, Brainiac would be a good villain. That's somebody they have never explored in the movies. It would be fun to see. I read a lot of DC stuff, but I don't have it. I'm kind of behind on my reading, actually. I got to the Future State with DC Comics, and Future State I thought was boring. I didn't really care for it. Now, I did like Wonder Woman 84 for what it was. They said Pedro says Wonder Woman 84, such a disaster too. Hopefully Wonder Woman 3 is like part 1, but even better. I definitely liked part 1 better, but I enjoyed part 2. A lot of people don't. I still enjoyed that movie. I thought it was a fun. I didn't like how Cheetah was thrown in there. I thought it was too much. They could have done fine without Cheetah. But for the most part, I actually really enjoyed that movie. Yeah, DC Comics has gone downhill, and that's why I have kind of, I'm behind on reading. The future state stuff I did not like, and I'm now to where I'm caught up to where Fear State starts, and I own all the comics. I still buy them. I have a huge freaking stack of stuff I need to read that I just have not gotten to. Good movie, but it's just that they are in the old regime filmed with. No, I have not met those individuals. As voice actors, we do everything from home, so I don't get to meet a lot of people out and about, which is interesting. All right, so let's get to the big news today. I'm not going to be able to read all the comments right here. I didn't like the Doomsday Clock at the end of the Rebirth story. People keep complaining about New 52, but it was more organized. Yeah, I don't mind what they did with the New 52. I just don't like some of the current stories. I just don't care for them very much in the current DC comics. I have reviewed, one of the reviews I did was The Three Jokers, which was a story I really enjoyed. If I was caught up, I might be, reviewing some of the comics too. Maybe if I do get caught up in the future, maybe I will. But that's going to depend on how my channel grows and having the money to be able to purchase a lot of that stuff to be able to stay caught up. Oh, Batman vs. Superman is overhated in my opinion. Yes, the Ultimate Edition is one of the best superhero films I have ever seen. I cannot believe the difference between the theatrical version and the Ultimate version. It's like night and day. It's a completely... everything about it is better. Like the studio has been sabotaging ever since then. All right, so let's talk about why I'm here today. It was reported by multiple sources that Zack Snyder has indeed, it's a fact, my title card has happened. Zack Snyder has met with Warner Brothers Discovery, and he has pitched his storyboards for Justice League 2 and 3. This has happened. So he has a plan, and it is being reported that all his storyboards have changed. Everyone talks about all these storyboards, and I can't tell you how many people in my comments say, I don't like what Zack Snyder had planned. If you were up for that plan, you're a moron for ever even thinking that's a good thing. And personally, I didn't care for some of the aspects of where they were going to go with Justice League 2 and 3. But it's completely changed, and Zack has met with them and has new storyboards. They're not going to do what they had planned that are going to fit more in with what has come before. So he's trying to mesh everything to get it all to fit. And I will tell you, I follow Zack Snyder on Vero, and if you haven't followed him there, you need to follow him on Vero. He posts stuff quite a bit, and he has been teasing something with DC ever since last November. He has never egged the audience on without a plan. He has never lied to the fans. He's a very gracious individual. He understands fans, and he actually had a post last November on Thanksgiving where he showed that he's got the Final Crisis, the what do you call it? The graphic novel sitting in the background. He's got some notebooks on it while he was filming his turkey. And he didn't do that by accident. That was planned. He's a filmmaker. Filmmakers don't do things by accident. So it is a fact that he has met with Warner Brothers Discovery now. They have heard his pitch. Now, whether they go with it or not is a whole different story. Zack Snyder is not going to be with Netflix forever, and he is going to be able to come back if he wants to and finish the vision. Here's my hope and what I wish would happen. I wish he would come back and do Man of Steel 2. I wish he would come back and do Justice League 2 and Justice League 3. After that, he could do what he wants. I will tell you, though, that Batman versus Superman scene in the warehouse with Batman, I've never seen a better Batman scene filmed. And I thought a lot of that was CGI, but if you go watch the making of, 99% of that was actually practical shots, which was pretty crazy. No, there have been no cryptic messages from Zack on Vero lately, but it's because he's not going to do something if that's going to egg people on without definitive information. All right, so let me go back in the comments here and see what we've got. Do you think we need? I don't think we need a Joker 2. I definitely don't want to see a musical. All right, so let's see where I left off. I only, when it comes to DC Comics, I am specifically, just so you guys know, I have over 5,000 Batman comics. I am a massive Batman fanatic, And so that is my I've been collecting Batman comics since 1987 with the Death in the Family storyline. I found the first 2 issues. I think it was Batman 424 and 425, if I'm not mistaken. And I found those at a bookstore, and I have been hooked ever since. No, we don't know what Zack Snyder's definitive plan is yet. It hasn't been confirmed. They haven't announced anything. We just have the 5 movies that are slated now. We've got Black Adam, and I'm going to address that here in a few minutes. Black Adam is coming out. Then next year, early next year in March, we have Shazam. Then in the middle of the year, we have The Flash. And then at the end of the year, we have Aquaman 2. And they're going to put Blue Beetle in there somewhere. So we're going to see where that ends up. We could get 4 big films next year. Yeah, Jenkins is pretty interesting. I mean, Pedro says, what are your thoughts on the villains for part 3? Are we going to expect more interviews from Jenkins? It's like she doesn't want to talk to anyone. She's kind of been pushed into the corner. I mean, Disney took her film off the slate entirely, which she was really excited to do. And Disney's in disarray, too. Disney's tanking right now. They have some serious problems, for sure. And a lot of Wonder Woman 1 was, Zack Snyder was there for the whole filming, so he was kind of like pseudo in charge. I could tell you that the No Man's Land scene, that was not Jenkins, that was Zack Snyder. So I don't have any, I'm not a Wonder Woman fanatic. I don't know a whole lot about Wonder Woman, so I couldn't tell you who I want for villains in the third one. I'm just eager to see what they come up with. I didn't like Doomsday Clock at the end of Rebirth story. We talked about that. No, I don't think we need a Joker. Todd McFarlane might take over DC Comics and Jim Lee might be demoted or fired. I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, I think Neil Blomkamp would be awesome to do a Cyborg movie. His style, I could tell you that District 9 movie was freaking phenomenal. There are 2 times where I've walked out of a movie theater in my lifetime wowed, and District 9 was one of them. And the other time was when Batman Begins came out. I had never seen Batman portrayed that way on film before. Yeah, so Charles Austin says Snyder has a new outline and new storyboards for Justice League 2 and 3. Zaslav has stated he wants Snyder's vision retained in the 10-year plan. Well, it's obvious. I mean, if they're holding on to Ken, Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, and Gal Gadot, yeah, they're a part of this. There's no question about that. Even though Suicide Squad movie had cringe humor, I think the characters have massive potential. They do, but I will tell you, I did not like how they killed off everything that Zack Snyder started. I don't think Rick Flag needed to be killed, and neither did Boomerang. It was like the studio was specifically trying to say, give the middle finger to everything that Zack Snyder had started. It's just crazy what they do to Zack Snyder's creations. Do you think this new Justice League is not canon to Zack Snyder's version? I'm not sure what that means. If they do any in the future, I think it will be canon too. There isn't any. I can tell you right now that the filmmakers think Zack Snyder's Justice League is canon. The real fans think that version. Even the people who don't like Zack Snyder do admit that his version of Justice League was way better than what got released in theaters. So there's no question about it that that's the one that is canon. Let's see. I did love Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL. Their soundtracks were phenomenal. Yes, Batman vs. Superman Ultimate Edition is a masterpiece. Zack Snyder, I like the Russo. I like the Russo brothers a lot. They did a movie, or at least one of them did a movie. I'm forgetting the name of it on Netflix that I absolutely loved with what's his name who played Thor. It was a really good movie, and they're doing a second one. I'm looking forward to that. And I will tell you, the only MCU movie I've ever given 5 stars to was Captain America 2. That movie was phenomenal, and that was the Russo brothers. And I think Zack Snyder, if they unleashed him and let him do what he needs to, the studio could make a crap ton of money. All right, no cryptic message. We may see Green Lantern Corps project before Justice League. There is a very, very real possibility we would see Green Lantern before Justice League 2 and 3. And Justice League 2 and 3 doesn't have to happen right away. If they do follow up with Darkseid, it could take him a long time to get to get to Earth. We don't know the time frame. Yeah, it could be a while before we get confirmation of Snyder coming back. Just like I said, Justice League may not happen for a while. Yes, Zaslav would be smart to go with Zack's plan. Yeah, I'm eager to see what the Nightmare universe was going to bring. What DC film am I most excited for? Well, they're films that haven't been announced. I'm most excited. I think right now I want to see a Man of Steel 2 above everything else. I want to see Ben Affleck's movie. I want to see the original cut of Suicide Squad. And after that, I want to see Justice League 2 and 3, and then everything trails after that. But of the current movies that are being released right now, the one I am most eager to see is Black Adam, simply because I know that, what's his name? The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, has been working on this for over a decade, and it's kind of like his pet project, and I hope he does it justice. Yeah, I wonder what his pitch was, too, to Warner Brothers Discovery. No, I think the new Justice League will be tied to Zack Snyder. So let's talk about, before I read any more of these comments, let's talk about, Zack Snyder and what's going to happen after The Flash. A lot of people think there's going to be a hard reboot. There is no hard reboot, especially if they're holding on to these other characters. And they're not just going to start a new timeline. There are rumors out there that The Flash is going to erase Batman from ever contacting the Justice League or even putting it together and then creating a bigger team. That would be asinine. I see no tactical reason to go that route. There is nothing wrong with what Zack Snyder started. They could continue on with his story without skipping a beat because, like I said, nobody has any idea how long it's going to take for Darkseid to get to Earth. It could take a long time. I mean, that could be at the end of the 10-year plan is when these last two Justice League movies could hit like that. We just don't know. Someone was saying that in Batman vs. Superman that, only the cape and the blood were CGI. Truly amazing stuff. Yeah, that scene was absolutely incredible. Let's see here. I can't. Yeah, well, I could tell you why they canceled the New Gods. Somebody said, I can't. They canceled the New Gods a while back, really. So they canceled it. I could tell you why. Because Zack Snyder, his vision of Darkseid, they weren't going to be able to top that. Everything would be childish compared to what he created, and there was no way they could follow after that. It just wouldn't make sense. Yeah, I actually have my Batman review on YouTube. For you guys that don't know, I am actually a review channel. I do cover a whole crap ton of DC stuff, but I do review movies and TV shows, and I did a full review on the Batman. And to me, the Batman is a very flawed movie. I really am, for the whole vision of what Reeves is doing, there has to be growth in that character in the second movie. Otherwise, it's going to be a big fail to me because he was a slow-talking, slow-moving, not a very menacing character at all. I didn't like how he just walked up to the Iceberg Lounge and knocked. There were just continuity problems all over it. And it's not a terrible movie, but should have been a lot better. It would be a mistake to do a reboot before the Snyder stuff. Yeah. They do need to resolve the Snyder stuff. That's why I don't think a reboot is coming. Yeah, I would love the Ben Affleck prequel to see what happened with Robin and how he descended into being the character we saw in Batman vs. Superman. A lot of people in my comments complained that this was the Superman we never wanted to see or the Batman, that Zack Snyder made these characters too dark. And he did for a reason. He said there was going to be a redemption on both of these characters. He had a plan, and we actually see that. If you go back and watch Zack Snyder's Justice League, I love when Superman returns. The look on his face, he does everything with such ease. He tells both Lois and his mom that, they brought me back for a reason. I need to go find out what it is. And when he shows up, there is no, oh man, it gives me chills just thinking about it. He's at ease with himself. He's comfortable in his own skin. He was the Superman we were looking for, and even Batman at the end of that too, when he bought the bank so that he could get the farm back. There was a plan there. Warner Brothers Discovery needs to get rid of Ezra. Yeah, I don't know. Ezra, I don't think is going anywhere. I think he's here to stay. Someone says, Disney, you mean Lucasfilm? Yeah, well, they're the same. I do not think we will get Static Shock. Hunter Iggy says, Aaron Fisher, I have a question. Do you think we will get Static Shock in the new Justice League or Young Justice? No, because they're not mainstream enough, and we could get movies with those characters, but I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. Someone said, Film Goblin says, I could do without the Nightmare. Well, I don't think we could do without the Nightmare with how they portrayed it. It's funny because they shat on Batfleck endlessly for being grim dark, and now that we got a literal emo Batman in Pattinson's take, the so-called cinephiles are ecstatic. Yeah, there's definitely a double standard there. That's from Sunset Man 22. My favorite Batman, Ben Affleck. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not a big Ben Affleck fan. I don't like his politics. I don't like him, as a regular person. I wouldn't want to follow him. And I wasn't happy when he was cast as Batman. But having read Batman, since 1987, he is the literal rip out of the comics version of Batman. I loved the Nolan trilogy, but I don't know that, what's his name was the right choice for Batman. He did a great job, but I never saw him as a Bruce or a Batman. But those movies are phenomenal. But that's a realistic type version of Batman. It's more of a realistic Batman. That's what Batman meant. Superman for the first time. Who would you recast, Mara? I don't like Emilia Clarke personally. I don't care for her. I do think that character does need to be recast, though. Yeah, I agree. Charles Austin says, if those who loved Richard Donner's Superman would have just waited and Warner Brothers hadn't messed with Snyder's vision, we would have seen the Superman we remembered as kids. I totally agree. It would have happened by now. Not as a future, I'd rather see a Justice League movie go cosmic. I would too. I want to see the Source Wall. You know what I want to see? I want to see the Green Lantern Corps in the universe, and holy crap, I want to see some big cosmic event to where they have to deal with the Source Wall. When I read, when I've read stories about the Source Wall in comic books and stuff, I could just envision this. I can envision what that would look like on film, and it could be something pretty freaking phenomenal. Will they ever go there? Who knows? My thoughts on Dan Lynn. He may not be the guy. I don't know if you guys heard, but they are looking at other people. I don't know if I mentioned that in my last update, but they may be looking at other people. Dan Lynn is probably not going to be the guy. He's the one that got the most traction, but I don't think he's going to be it. Who's your top four? Well, there haven't been too many Superman actors. Christopher Reeve, for me as a kid, was magical. I love Henry Cavill's Superman, and I would put Tyler Hoechlin as my third favorite. And then I could see his face, the guy who voiced Superman and the Superman. Just like Kevin Conroy is one of my favorite Batmans. Whenever I read Batman comics, I hear Kevin Conroy's voice. That's who I hear. They should continue with Darkseid Invasion? Absolutely. Yeah, I could tell you the thing with Bruce and Lois having an affair is no longer part of the story. They would not go that route. I don't think anybody would have been happy with that. Why can't we get Batman on TV like Superman? I agree. Derek Ferris says, why can't we get Batman on TV like Superman and Lois? I feel the same way. He's my favorite character. And we haven't had a live-action true Batman since 1966. How does that happen? How does that happen? We've had so many different Superman shows, but we haven't had a single real Batman show. I don't get it. Yeah, you know, Todd Phillips doing something like The Killing Joke, that would add some weight to it, for sure. Yeah, I hope Ezra Miller is getting the help he needs as well. So, Hunty Iggy says, Aaron Fisher, do you think we will get more than 2 Batman and Aquaman 2? I do. I do think that we're going to see, I think Ben Affleck, or not Ben Affleck, but I do think Michael Keaton is definitely still going to be in it. And I do believe he may be stuck here in this universe along with Ben Affleck. But that could open up a whole bunch of storylines, too. That would be kind of cool. Yeah, I do believe that the Bruce and Lois part was scrapped before it was even shot. I don't think they would go through with that. It's too controversial. Yeah, Christian Bale was phenomenal, but not meant for the DCEU. I don't think Dan Lynn is the guy. He seems like another Jeff Johns. Any names other than... There haven't been any names announced other than Dan Lynn. Nobody big. They're still working on it, though. Just in general, I think Zack Snyder is a very misunderstood director. I honestly have never understood the hate for Zack Snyder and his movies. I don't either. When he makes the movies he's supposed to, his movies are phenomenal, but they keep messing with him. Tom Welling, I liked him for what he did in Smallville, but I don't see him as Superman. I just don't think he has the right look. But he did great in that role. Like, I love Smallville. Smallville was fantastic. I would like Bruce Timm. Bruce Timm, I wouldn't mind him coming in and being a part of this. The old regime seriously had no idea what they were doing if they felt that the Wonder Twins were... Yeah, exactly. That one was... I didn't even watch Batgirl. I couldn't do it. I haven't watched Gotham. I got through the first season of Gotham, and I got through part of season 2, and I own all the Blu-rays, but it was so campy to me, I just couldn't get through it. And I hated Will Smith's wife, her character in it. I couldn't stand it, and I heard she comes back, and I'm like, oh, please, no. I agree. Batman works better for TV than Superman. I totally agree. If they did something, they could do a pretty cool, serious crime drama using Batman. I think it would be phenomenal. Oh, sorry, I'm not reading a lot of people's names. I'm not sure if it's Arnab. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, and I don't mean any disrespect. I'm just reading through the comments. I'm not necessarily reading what the people are saying here. Okay, so somebody asked me, would you cast Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern or recast? I would still put Ryan Reynolds in the character of Green Lantern. I don't think they need to recast that character. I don't think they need to retell the story. They may go the route of, what they did with the Hulk and put somebody else completely in that role, but he needs to be a part of it. You can't, I think him and Jon Stewart need to be the head of Green Lantern. You can't do anything else other than that. And I do believe that movie is overhated, too. I think it was okay for what it was. It wasn't phenomenal, but it was serviceable. Let's see. Yeah, I think the Ayer cut would totally redeem Jared Leto, for sure. Shouldn't have been called the Arrowverse. It should have started with Batman himself. Yeah, well, CW's not doing too well. They're sold, and the only show coming back is Superman and Lois. Jay Oliva. Yeah, Jay, I would like to see him, but I doubt they're going to hire him. But you never know. I don't care about TV regulations. Bring Batman in. Let's see here. Yeah, Gotham to me. Like I said, I own all the Blu-rays but have not finished it. Boy, I've gotten a lot of people making comments today. Oh. DJN. Okay, thank you. I know and met the man, Zack Snyder. It's important to know the why of characters, the cause and effect of things. it irritates the sensibilities and reductionists. Yes, and thank you for the chat there. All right, that is much appreciated. So let's talk a little bit about. Let's see, if I'm going to be around for 10 years. Do you think Damian? I wouldn't mind Damian coming in, but I'd rather have a Dick Grayson. But I think he's dead. If anything, I would rather them to introduce Damian. There's a whole can of worms that goes along with that, and I don't think they could do that at this stage. They would have to do a lot more. Tim Drake seems more like the appropriate one. A bit off topic. I'm stressing about meaningful representation with the key word being meaningful. Point is, too many white characters get all the praise. Black characters deserve praise too. Oh, absolutely. The thing is, what's funny with Zack Snyder is he was doing representation the right way, but Warner Brothers cut it all out. You saw what they did with Ray Fisher. They did it, with Jon Stewart, and they did it with Adam. These were all characters of color that were going to get the right representation. They need to do it the right way. I didn't like the Batman from Titans, the guy from Game of Thrones. No, thank you. He's too skinny, and I didn't care for him at all. Yeah, I like Drake a lot. I don't like the changes they've done with him. I think it's silly to do that after the character's been around for 30 years, but whatever. Yeah, I would like to see what happened with Dick Grayson. Yes, Zack Snyder's movies do feel more Shakespearean. They absolutely do. I don't care about, Kyle Morgan says, I don't care about representation. There is only one race, and that's mankind. As Garth Brooks said, when that happens, we shall be free. Yeah, I could tell you, I personally believe with everything that's going on, especially in the U.S., that we're going backwards. There's more segregation going on now, and that is not what Martin Luther King wanted. And I think it's sad. I'm sad to see what's happening with the country. What's the best minority hero, in my opinion? Yeah, and I'm really hoping Ray Fisher comes back. A lot of people ask me about talking about Ray Fisher. I will talk about Ray Fisher when it is. And for those who didn't know, let's talk about that. Today, there's a, what do you call it? On Twitter, if you haven't visited Twitter, it's I can actually tell you the hashtag here because I actually did a post on this on Twitter today. So let's see here. So Wayne T. Carr, I shared his, and Wayne T. Carr, for those who don't know, was going to be Green Lantern. And the hashtag is Bring Back Ray Fisher Cyborg. So I did post that, and I did share it. And there's a lot of traction with that on Twitter right now. So that's pretty freaking cool. Let's see here. Dick would still be good for Nightwing. Yeah, I hope we get a Nightwing. It would be nice to see, but with him dead, unless they want to say it's Tim Drake that was killed, or Todd, what's his name? Red Hood, that could work as well. Yep, bring back Ray Fisher. Hashtag, yep. Yeah, Wayne T. Carr is awesome. I want to see that scene so bad. Bring him back. Make him, part of the head of the Green Lantern Corps. I just, yeah. We may get Jeffrey Dean Morgan. If they're retooling things, they may be fixing it. I heard the whole third act of that movie is getting changed. Okay, so is the soft reboot happening? There is possibly a soft reboot happening here in the future, but not a hard reboot. They are not going with different actors, and I think that is plain as day at this stage. For anybody who tells you otherwise, that's moronic. There's no way that they're going to be recasting these main characters. Too many people like them. They're fine in their roles. They just need to move forward and create some new stories and possibly finish up with what Zack Snyder started. So I see a soft reboot, but not a hard reboot. I don't think Dick would be coming back. If they do a reboot, well, who knows? A lot of this is going to hinge on what happens in the Flash movie. We could find out, they could make it so Dick didn't die. Who knows? So what was my movie experience, my movie theater experience for when I saw Justice League? Well, that was the first movie I didn't get to see. I get to see most movies early, and I did not get to see that one early. And I left the theater very underwhelmed. I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was, but it lacked the depth and the feel of what Zack Snyder had started. And it was only when I got the Blu-ray and I saw the deleted scenes with Superman where I said, oh my gosh, something terrible happened. And that's when everything started changing, and we found out there was this other version, and that changed everything. For me, watching Zack Snyder's Justice League was like a dream come true. I could tell you right now, the day I saw that, I watched it twice that same day, and it's just phenomenal. Yeah, if Ray Fisher is obligated to Netflix, yes, he can come back. He absolutely can come back. This goes back, if you weren't here at the beginning, I talk about how actors, I'm actually considered a professional actor. I'm a voice actor for a living. It's what I do. And the only way these people cannot do stuff at other networks is if they sign a no-compete clause and exclusivity with those studios. And that is not happening with Ray Fisher. That is definitely not happening with any of these guys at this stage. Yeah, I do think Jeffrey Dean Morgan would have been perfect for Thomas Wayne. Yeah, I wouldn't mind Black Lightning in the DCU, but I didn't watch the show. But I got so far behind on the Arrowverse stuff, I couldn't catch up. I don't know if Kevin Conroy would show up in the DCEU. I doubt that's going to happen, but man, his voice is incredible. Yeah. Charles Austin says, and I urge true DC fans listening and watching, don't believe the hit pieces. Nobody should believe those hit pieces. Yeah, don't ever watch the original Justice League. Don't. I only have it and keep it because of the Steelbook cover, but it may be a collectible one day, but I will never watch that movie ever again. It was hard. I could tell you when I went back, I tried to watch it after watching Zack Snyder's, and I just couldn't do it. It was so painful, I could not do it. So let's talk about Henry Cavill. Here's what I'm going to finish with for today. And I do appreciate everybody. And first of all, I do have to give a kudos to DJN for definitely helping me out on my channel. The revenue that I get is going to do nothing but help me make my channel bigger and better in the future. So I got to give a shout out to him for the super chat there. I greatly appreciate that. So here's what I'm going to finish up with today. And you guys can always leave comments, and I'll scan through them in the future. And if you know of anybody who likes DC, please share my channel with them. Yes, J.J. Abrams' Superman is dead. J.J. Abrams, I think, is not going to be doing anything for the studio, period. That was a complete waste of money. All right, so let's talk about what I believe is going to happen here in the future, and because of these, with what's happening and, the topic of my video today. I do think Zack Snyder is going to be back to do something in the future, whether it's Final Crisis or it's Justice League 2 and 3. I do believe he's going to be back, but does that mean it's going to happen next year or the year after that or the year after that? Not necessarily, okay? But I do believe he is coming back. Black Adam. I honestly believe that that movie is going to hinge on whether Henry Cavill's in it or not. If we get a headless Superman, I think the fans are going to revolt. It is definitely going to damage the film. To what degree, I don't know, but somebody told me that there is no way that Henry Cavill being in that movie one way or another is not going to affect the film at all. I think is very nearsighted. That is not. It is definitely going to have an effect. So if he's not in it, the movie is going to have big problems. If he is in it, it's going to get more people to go see the film. There is no question about it. And that, it actually would be a great litmus test for them to try to see what people are going to do and how they're going to react to what is happening on screen. So I do hope Henry Cavill's in it. I do think he is going to be in it. I would say that I would err on the side of yes, he is going to be in the film. I think it would be a missed opportunity if they didn't do it. Okay, Black Adam just seems like another Dwayne Johnson film. I would not agree with that. It hasn't come out, so we can't make a judgment on that. Too many people make a judgment based on trailers. I urge people not to do that with this film. I could tell you that he has worked on this for a very long time. And one of the trailers made it look goofy. The other ones made it look more serious. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. I do appreciate everybody who showed up. I am thinking about doing a live stream every Sunday, possibly around this time or a little bit later. Let me know your guys' thoughts on that. I would love to chat with the people who follow my channel and those who chime in. I do appreciate all of the support. My channel has come a long way in the 2 years I've been on here, and I hope to make it even bigger and better in the future. If you want the Snyderverse, then you need Black Adam to succeed 100%. I agree, but they got to have Henry Cavill in it. DC fans, Phoenix DC fan says this was fun. I like doing this. It is a lot of fun. Black Adam's success hinges on Superman. I do agree to agree. All right, guys, I got to take off, but I do appreciate. We'll see you guys soon. And if there's any big news this week, stick to my channel. I will be doing further updates. Take care.